Welcome back to the channel and family. It's your boy Cut Nice 50. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Let's talk about Gilco Productions at this year's Arnold Classic. If y'all don't know these guys right here, man, they performance production is one in a million. I definitely give them a shout out. You wouldn't have all these quality videos, pictures from buys and tries. All these social media outlets, man, are doing amazing work. So shouts out to the Arnold Classic for stepping up the game, man, making their show the best show in the world currently. Not only for the fans, but for the athletes by raising the prize money. Man, this show right here was historical, and it was pretty much one of the best shows I've seen in a long while. So many storylines, so many different champions who came into play, and it was mostly anticipated. A lot of surprising victories, a lot of surprising places, but as you can see, man, Classic Physique was always on point for me. I already knew who the winner was going to be, but I was also surprised at some of the veterans who actually showed up and showed out, bringing their best package to date. As you see right here, Ramon actually won the show, and he actually looked phenomenal. But I got to give my shout out to Urs, man. Urs looks like he's going to be the future of Classic Physique once C-Bum go ahead and retire. And we're gonna just see, man. If y'all missed the show Arnold Sports this at March 2nd and 4th, you probably can find it still online. But I got to give a shout out to my man Sampson, who finally won his first major victory at this year's Arnold Classic after coming in, I believe, 5th last year, and taking 6th at this year's Olympia. He did show up looking amazing. I had to go back and look at some footage because he did, I think they said, faded a little bit, but I just give him all the props in the world. It's only been a short time for these drastic changes that this guy made, because he was more concerned with his health and not going through these emotional roller coasters like a lot of these other guys by stepping up the anabolics too much, actually, we can say. We already know that he's a phenomenal poser, but I don't think nobody thought he was going to show up and actually be conditioned on point with some of these other guys. Yes, he's gonna never be as shredded as Nickwalker and some of these other guys, but he bought a great package in such a short time. So the sky's tremendous for this young guy, and I hate to see what's gonna happen at this year's Mr. Olympia. What place would Sampson be? He just beat Nickwalker at this year's, who was number 3 in the world. So of course he's gonna be in that first call up if he doesn't get injured. He stays on point because he was 6th last year. So first call out is automatic for him, but how would he raise up in that classic? This year, man, I'm excited to see, and shouts out to Sampson. As you can see, my man right here, Fuad, hey, this was fundamental, man, for these guys. You see them hugging, laughing, cheering, and that's just true respect right there. And shout out to Nickwalker, man. As you can see, Nick did definitely bring a much shredded physique. He held his own, and definitely a lot of fans had him winning and stuff like that. I personally myself don't prefer his physique. To me, it just seems like, I don't know, something was missing off his physique. Even though he came in, I think, better. I think he was lighter than he was at Olympia, so maybe he lost a little bit of fullness or whatever the case may be. But definitely his structure against these structural superior guys let him down. But you can't deny what Nick brought to the stage. As I'm looking at him right now, man, I just thought this guy is truly amazing. Now off for bodybuilding, I just think with the structure that he has, and he actually bringing his 100%, I give him all the props in the world. Even though other guys gonna be superior with shape and they're gonna look more pleasing, this guy is truly a mass monster. But I'm just thinking the Arnold Classic is not the Olympia. You know, they always like more pleasing physiques. So he was already at a disadvantage in my eyes going into the Arnold Classic. Yes, he won another year, but it wasn't an athlete who was in there who looked like Sampson with the conditioning and actually was at 100% also. But this, hey, Nickwalker, keep his head up, keep going. And as you can see, Andrewjacked was another surprise and a wild card going into this, because he actually came in superior in my eyes. His physique, he was also extra shredded, and I think that he actually brought 100% for what he got so far. Even with that, he did look a little bit more streamlined, as they can say, in certain poses. But once this fella actually starts working out the best poses to showcase his physique, he's going to be unstoppable. Everybody knows it's just a matter of time before he wins his first Olympia. It's just when he comes in maybe a little bit heavier. I don't even think he needs to be a little bit heavier. Maybe the same conditioning, but more fuller, filled out in a couple other areas. He's going to be unstoppable. And it's probably going to be at this year's Olympia. So this year, 2023, is going to be one to watch. Hopefully they step up like the Arnold Classic, raise the prize money, actually reward these guys at the Olympia, because they actually deserve it, man. They putting their body through so much, and just the training, the lifestyle, you name it. This guy has been prepping for over a year, no off season, and he's almost won this show. So just imagine with a true off season, 8 months or so, what this guy is gonna look like, because he's gonna pick up muscle. He only had a 6-7 week prep, so the sky is up for this future. But look at my man Big Ramy. He actually surprised me doing this show. He showed up looking good in my eyes, but he was immediately moving. In my eyes, they didn't give him a shot. I don't know what's going on with him, but going through the pictures and other footage, he actually showed up most improved. He looked better, but I just think they was looking at the younger guys, better physiques that's more streamlined right now. Like, they made their ways. So Ramy, I think, going into the Olympia is gonna do damage after he completes his stem cells regeneration, the surgeries, and all the other stuff. Just look at him. If you've seen some of the HD footage and that Gilgo and Buys and Tries provided, later on they'll be in this video, just analyze his physique and tell me he was back to his old form, but he still lost this physique. Even Arnold had to take a shot at this guy. It was like, man, all this muscle on this guy, and he came in condition. He looked great. He posed great. You know, that's the thing about a champion or former champion. They know how to pose. They know how to hold their own. They know how to get the crowd excited. And Ramy is always going to be a fan favorite. So the hope is for Ramy to keep doing what he got to do. Don't worry about the criticism. And he brought it. He brought the best he could for this show. Now, let's go to Classic Physique, man. I already knew that Ramon was going to win this show, and the difference between them is muscle maturity. Ramon is pretty much maxed out at his height and weight in Classic Physique. But I just got to give it to my man for just showcasing what he brought to the stage. I don't think he had any trouble with making weight this time. He did it at Olympia and almost was out of the show, but they corrected that issue. And right here, we didn't hear anything, but he did come in more shredded. Posing is still a little bit shaky for me, but you got to think, these guys are young, but they just rose to the occasion. So he brought his best. He looked amazing, and he's one to watch coming into this Olympia. Next up, hey, you see him waiting on getting his first Arnold Classic victory. I don't think he's only been competing, I think, 3 years. From Brazil, Ramon Dino is one to watch. He claimed that title, but even when he tried to hold him off for second, Alex Caballero was one for me I was most impressed with. But let's talk about Urs, as you can see, has the structure, the height to challenge C-Bum. The only thing he's lacking is that development. He's a young guy. He's the youngest out the group, and he's already top 3 in the world. But just look at the shape on this guy. The legs is already overpowering the upper body, so that's the only thing he has to work on, is improving the upper body and probably biceps, stuff like that. But as you can see, he has the muscle. So Ramon, I don't think is out muscling him. Ramon just has more dense muscle on his frame technically. And you can see Urs is younger. He has a younger looking muscle instead of that dense looking physique like Ramon has. But the posing is always good, his composure. And just look at those legs on this guys. You can see his upper body is kind of underdeveloped compared to his legs. But just get this guy off season and he's gonna be on the ceiling. Backstage, you can just see this shape on this guy. He looks like a young C-Bum. He might be a little bit shorter, but posing is there, confidence is there. And he's from Germany, but he has a great support system. So the sky's the limit for this guy. He's real friendly. They call him the Miracle Bear for a reason. Shout out to Herbs for stepping up to the plate. At least he's competing. So I give all these guys credit who showed up for the show and actually competed instead of sitting at home watching. And they could be on stage. You know, if you're a bodybuilder, you love the sport, you love competing, get on stage, compete as much as you can, and make your fans happy. Hey, this is the Arnold Classic. I got to give a shout out to Laura Lee Chapados for winning her title. Here's her posing physique right here. When she came out, I thought her physique was amazing. She came in lean. Presentation was always on point. And she looked pretty much, I think, better than she did at the Olympia. Just look at the smile on the face, the pose, and she changed up her routine a little bit. Gave it a little bit of sass in there. So I actually enjoyed her posing routine, and just let y'all enjoy it just a little bit. Everything was on point for her. She came in, nice tone. She has the sex appeal that's going on in there, and the walk is just on point. So she didn't underperform like she did in the previous other shows. I think she actually went through a lot, and I started liking her when she started messing with my guy Sean Rowland, the ex-champ, and she was already amazing. If you ever seen her train, this woman right here is a beast. But congratulations for winning her Arnold Classic title. Hey, and she just kept up the good work. So I was actually surprised. Maureen came in second. Jennifer Dory always third. Ashley Koshwai was fourth. But look at Maureen right here. She had showed up to the Olympia and won that title in bikini, and she was amazing. So, you know, I tried to analyze her performance right here. And if y'all don't know anything about bikini is similar to wellness. They're just more smaller. They don't have bigger quads or more leg definition, stuff like that. They're more streamlined. So you got to think it's more the swimsuit edition. You know, I have a couple girls also who's doing bikini training, but I think Maureen, her routine was a little bit more of a wellness like routine. She had a little more sex appeal, more swag in it, but that's something new that she normally didn't do. Now let's go ahead and jump into wellness and just compare her routine to Maureen's, and just tell me what you think. This lady right here, I was impressed with her at the Olympia. She actually had a lot of muscle on her frame. Posing wasn't too good at the Olympia for me. She always is going to be in the top 5. She actually showed out. But everything, when I looked at her physique at the Arnold Classic, was 100%. She showed up at her best. Her posing, presentation was amazing. And she switched up her routine a little bit. Like I say, a lot of these ladies actually switched their posing up. They probably have a nice posing coach. But I got to give her all the props in the world, because she's doing the best she can with her physique. And she actually brought a better package than she was. So Cassandra Gillis is our first champion on a classic. And Borges right here, she came in second. And I actually like this woman right here. Her physique, it was always, I thought when she came out, I thought she actually was going to win this one. But I think her posing, maybe a little bit of hesitation in there. But speaking about just physique, period, she was 100%. She couldn't do any better. Legs, quads, glutes, back, the purse. But you can see the swag that's in her posing routine. It was a little more hesitation, even the posing from the back. So I don't know if she was maybe cramping up a little bit. And you got to think, these athletes dehydrated, they are cramping, they go through a whole lot. But her posing at the Olympia was amazing. But I still give it a shout. She came in number 2. Now here's my favorite woman's competitor in the world right now, Vitamin C. As y'all can see, this is the woman's champion right here, the GOAT in this sport. And she's always doing amazing things. So if you've never seen her, I just had to introduce y'all to her. She's sometimes training at Madhouse Gym down here in Georgia, where I normally train it also. So it's always get a great insight to talk to her any chance I get to. She also does posing and women's empowerment meditation group. She has like an outreach program. So I get this props out for her. And she also has another show that's, I think it's going to be an Olympia qualifier that's taking place. If not this year, it's going to be next year. So the things she's doing behind the scenes, not just on the stage, is also amazing. And I believe she just turned 30? But either way, this young stud is doing amazing things. And I just want to see her keep winning for multiple years to come. But this is the standard right here. So any ladies out there, you're trying to compete, this is who you want to mimic your career out of. Miss Vitamin C. She's always amazing, professional, a hard worker, and her training style is unique. So definitely check her out. Now I'm talking about, man, Alex Caballero. He was getting a little older, so his placing starting to drop, but I was actually surprised. He bought his best package that I've seen in a couple years. He done won the Arnold Classic a couple times years ago, but his placings every year, even in the Arnold Classic, has started to decline due to Ramon, Urs, and all these other young studs coming up in the division. But as an older guy, he came from 212. So as you can see, his posing route was maybe a little shaky at sometimes, but like I said before, cramps, if y'all was never been dehydrated, you never been an athlete on stage, sometimes nerves come into it. But if you ever see, look at he came in extra shredded. I don't think he's never been this shredded, and he actually picked on some muscle he added to that back. So he also experienced, I think, a neck injury years ago. He had surgery. So if you never watched him pose before, his head is always tilted kind of to the side. But I just love this man's physique, his hard work, because when it comes to diet, he's as strict as they get. So I just give him a whole shout out, man. Y'all stay tuned. Now, this lady right here is truly amazing also. When it comes to fitness, oh man.
Thank you. I have to ask you a question, because that maybe is a question to all of you. You all look fantastic. Oh man, I was sitting right out there in front. I mean, I looked like an idiot looking at you, staring at you. I was so in awe of those performances. I mean, how long do you train every day to be that flexible, that strong, and that quick jumping powers and the acrobatics and all this stuff? I mean, how much do you train?
A lot. I mean, fitness is tough because
Be more specific.
Okay. I personally train my routine at least 4 or 5 times a week, but that's because I don't actually train my routine as often as some of these other girls, but that's because I have a lot of injuries. I think all of us are honestly on a different training schedule, if I had to be really honest with you. But we all obviously put a lot of effort into this routine and performance to put on the show for you, Arnold, specifically, obviously, but also the fans. And it's a lot of work, but we love it.
Well, let's give them all a big hand for the great effort that they are making here. Thank you very much. Thank you all. We're very proud of you, okay? Thank you very much.
Man, this always get Arnold some props. This show, the expo, was amazing all around. Y'all got wrestling, man. If y'all never went to the Arnold Classic, I'll tell you what, next year I'm definitely gonna try to be there. I'm sad I didn't be able to compete in this show this year, but that's life and it happens. But I commend Arnold for stepping up the game, making this show the best show in the world. Due to the expo, due to all the extracurricular activities they got, from strongman to powerlifting to just all the sports that y'all see, and you might not even see this broadcast on stage, the competitions, to treating the amateurs, you know, with dignity and respect, making sure they have a light to shine on the show. Now let's again thank Arnold Sports for putting on an amazing show. Arnold himself has been an advocate for the sport for many years. He's doing unbelievable things, so we appreciate everything he's given us, man, as far as the awareness for athletes, the prize money, and he's actually changing these guys' lives. I just love classic physique as a competitor myself, and I always enjoy watching this show. But it was a lot of storylines going into it. Let's talk about Sean Carita, what his statement is. He made the first call out, and looks like he's battling between 4th and 5th. He came in at 181 pounds, 4 pounds heavier than Olympia, and just as sharp, if not better than Olympia. Y'all know, pound for pound, he has more muscle on his frame than anybody in the league. What else he had to say? Being this was his first Arnold debut, going toe-to-toe with some of the best in the world, some of which outweigh him by 100 pounds, and being able to hold his own, without a doubt, was a success for him. And I just want to commend Sean Carita. This was an amazing physique. Like I said, anything comes down with structure with these other guys, but they cannot deny this guy muscle he has on this frame. For his height and his abilities, he's not the 212 champ for a reason. But shout out to Sean Carita. Congratulations, you deserve it, champ. Now let's talk about andrewjacked. Game plan was executed. Awesome and tighter. In prejudging, slack a little bit in finals. 3rd place, so deserved. Taking a break now after a long 366 days of actively prepping. This guy made all these drastic changes just by hiring a new coach and nutritionist, and he executed it. And now he will come back fresher, stronger, prettier, classier, and better. The Mona Lisa signing out. Now I like his little catchphrase right there. He called him the Mona Lisa bodybuilder because he's able to do splits. This guy is ultimately talented. He's MMA fighter. You name it, power lifter, he has it all. And in just a short term, he done shot the world. Nickwalker. Man, we came in better than the old, improved in all areas we wanted to be improved on. He's really happy with the package we brought. Came up a little short, but you know how he do when he lose. He only comes back better. And I just consider it's a win for him. For me personally, I like this his Olympia package. Here, I don't know if it was just the lighting and he just more streamlined, but it took away from his physique. Now I want to give a shout out to my man Kamal. Kamal, if y'all don't know, is with BPI Sports. He's the oldest athlete competing, I think, currently in the ifbb. And he showed up amazing, but I can't find too many pictures of him in this Arnold Classic. Like I say, age does affect all of us at some point. And I think they was saying that it was pretty much catching up with him, but just going toe-to-toe with the pros and still coming in, hey, I give him all the props in the world. Next, man, Rodriguez. Let me tell you what, heading into this Arnold Classic, a lot of people was concerned about him over prepping for so long, but before he's peak week, he looks amazing. Look at this photo. He always looks amazing. It just doesn't translate on stage. Patrick Moore had his comeback this show, and he just actually looked a little bit smaller, but y'all don't know anything about Achilles injury. Sometimes, like for me as a professional football player, that is what we call a career ending. So I give him all the props in the world, getting back on the stage, being able to train, and pushing through all the adversity he has to face and continue to face. Next up, let's go to men's physique results. Aaron Bates, Diago Montanero, Emmanuel Hunter, Victor Chavez, Carlos de Oliveira. Next up, who we have? The bikini. And like I say, Laura Lee Chapados won, Maureen Blasquisco, Jennifer Dory, Ashley Coswater, Romina Basualdo, and these ladies generally you're gonna see always in that top 5 to 8. Laura Lee Chapados, she wins that 2023 bikini title, so I just want to see his shots out. Congratulations, champ. Next up, my man Sampson Dada. He won his first Arnold Classic. Nickwalker came in second. andrewjacked, Big Ramy was 4th, and Sean Carita tied out that top 5th. And y'all don't know anything about Sampson, man. Sampson was battling for a long time. Everybody seen the potential, but they didn't think he's gonna make these drastic changes this far. But just look at this guy's physique. You can't tell me or undeny the muscle he has on his frame. And he's not really a young guy, but it's just exploding because he got the right formula now and he's able to work. These 3 men changed my life. I will be forever grateful. Fuad, Mountain Dog, and Mila Saucer. If y'all know Mountain Dog, man, this was a great guy. He's a once-in-a-lifetime character. If you didn't have a chance to meet him, I had talked to him several times. I used to get my training tips and stuff like that from this guy. Man, I don't know what this picture is. I might be in Fuad's gym. but he was a truly great soul, and he's greatly missed. Next up, I didn't know andrewjacked won the best poser award, and that's what I like the Arnold Classic, man. They reward these guys. Y'all know most muscular. Hey, you know who it was. He won it again. He did what he had to do, and he has more muscular. I mean, you got to give Nickwalker all the credit for what he does with his physique, his frame, and he's just a hard worker, man. So I always give him props for that. Next, Lifetime Achievement Award was given to Flex Wheeler. So Arnold is still doing it. He recognizes the pros he's given up and honor these guys. Big Ramy. We went back to the drawing board, dug deep, and looked at what we needed to work on. Everybody knows the legs issues, back issues, tricep issues. We had to revamp all of us posing and change things around. So I commend Big Ramy because they did change it around and showed up much improved in Olympia. And I actually thought he brought a better package than we seen in a long time. So after changing everything, this photo right here was talking about he wasn't even in the top call out of anything else and prejudging. But just look at the guy's physique, look at the muscle he has on him, and we're gonna finish this video off with a little bit of comparison so you can make your own narratives and just look. Andrewjacked, you already know how much muscle he has on his frame. Is 6'2", but look at Big Ramy over here. You cannot deny what he brought to the stage. Hey, look at these two right here. The top two in this show was battling out all night long. And just look at that 4 right there. You can't just imagine the amount of muscle on these guys. This was an amazing show to see, but my eyes is immediately drawn to Andrewjacked on this pose. You can't deny him. Now, who do you guys got? First, I see Big Ramy, I see Andrew, and I also see Sampson. So this one, and Nick also looks pretty good in the show. Surprisingly, his legs do look a little bit downsized up there because his upper body is massive. But who do y'all guys like in this shot? Now let's go to a most muscular. As you already know, Nick won this shot, but I see Andre off the back. I see Ramy off the back, but I actually like Andre's shot a little better. I don't know if it's the abs, if it's the upper body, or what it is. He does look a little stringier on here, but I do love that physique than that most muscular. Here's a different variation of it, and Nick always looks amazing when he does the most muscular this way. So I can see why they gave him to him. And the legs closed, it actually makes his physique look a little better. And you can't deny, man, this guy just came in shredded bone for bone. His structure will always probably hold him down when you're going against these two guys next to him, Andrewjacked and Sampson. It's just a hard pill to swallow. But let's go into this front lat spread. And I like Andre, but I don't know if maybe his lats is not popping up a little bit like Sampson. But automatically, I prefer Andre on this shot, but I might have to give it to Sampson. I was always a little bit confused on that. Nick doesn't really never hit this front lat spread wide. Maybe it's too much muscle on this frame or what. But going with the ab and thigh, all three of these guys actually look good. But nobody in the world is going to be Andrewjacked on an ab and thigh pose. But they also do look pretty good on there. Hit Andre, just look at his legs, is even straight. He's not flamming, he just hitting it straight up and down. Who else you know can hit this pose like this and look amazing? Nobody. Now let's go again from the side. Like I said, you got to give it with Nick first, and then I go with Sampson on that next one. Andre just doesn't know how to hit it just too much yet. They're talking about his hamstrings, but all these guys just look amazing, man. So look, hey, we go into that front double bicep again. Like I say, now this one is a little closer to me with Andre and Sampson. Nick does do pretty good job, but nobody's beating, like I say, Andre again on this one. I got to give it to him just because of the structure and the abs. But Sampson is close with it. Now going to that front back double bicep, Nick should take this hands down easily. Andre, I like his upper body back. I'm drawn to him maybe because of coloring and stuff like that. But once you look at the lower body and overall structure of Sampson, like I said, he's real close. So it's apple and oranges, but we're going to finish with here. This was an amazing show. So we appreciate y'all watching this Arnold Classic wrap up, going over the champions results, routines, productions, reactions, and our perceptions. Don't forget to watch the review with the Arnold Classic with Gilco Productions. We were talking about them in the prize money and the athletes. Also, ebooks is being released for 1/23. We're working hard to give y'all some of the best. At 43, age comes to play. We all need to work. Hey, we out.